I've said it before and I'll say it again. People with tidy workshops are absolute psychopaths. This is how I live, apparently. So today is going to be a vlog, so hopefully I can let you know what I'm up to, what's going on, what's happening in my little workshop, and I might also do a little bit of tidying up as well. But I can't do any extra work today because my hands are quite swollen and quite painful, so I can't really do a great deal, unfortunately. So in order to get a video out, we're doing a vlog. So let me tell you what we've got going on. Right here, you'll see that the table saw is now back in place and installed, and I'm very, very happy to say that it's working, and it's working really well. Now, when it came to the video for this, I thought it was going to be just a simple kind of straightforward affair, but it turns out that every time I was clicking on the record button, I'd be working on something, it would cock up, I'd get frustrated, I'd turn the video off, and then I'd have to come back to it, try it again, spend an hour figuring things out, and then it just compounded. So most of it is filmed, and the tail end of it is going to be kind of a walkthrough. So I've got a lot of editing to do on that one. So yeah, that's going to be coming very, very soon. But yeah, it was a pig, not because necessarily the project I had, but maybe just the way I was doing things, because I had no idea what I'm doing. Project number 2, though, was the removal of my old Parkinson Vise and installing this bad boy instead. Now, I've still got the front and rear drawers to go. However, even though I watched a ton of installation videos online on YouTube before I did it, I managed to forget all of that and made some royal cock-ups in the installation process, which meant the whole thing was an absolute bloody nightmare. I got so frustrated the other day that I stopped doing the build on this, and I made the lathe handle out of a piece of walnut, and I did that all by hand, no lathe turning, none of that business, and I did it on an Instagram live. But if you do want to see how I make round things like this, I used just this tool that I made, this little jig affair. If you want to see how I made something like this round by hand, just with planes and then some sandpaper, then do let me know, and I'll do that. But I mean, it's fairly basic stuff, but if you're interested, let me know, because I think this came out really, really rather well. It's a bit long, by the way, but the reason I've kept it the length that it is because there's very little effort needed to turn it, and then when it comes to tightening and loosening, I won't be sort of wailing on it like I used to with the Parkinson. But yeah, front and rear jaws to go, and yes, I am putting rear jaws on rather than having it up flush with the bench, partially because I had to replace a big section that was previously kind of carved out for the Parkinson, but also because I found, and I've recently found out, that Paul Sellers is exactly the same. And when you've got a vise that's face mounted, that goes into the face of your bench, it's really difficult sometimes to put your hands kind of behind it. So if you're holding something like that and then you tighten up your vise, your fingers get squished, you know. And when I'd put the Parkinson in, I'd put it pretty close to being flush, and I was squishing my fingers all the time. So this time I'm going to step it out a little bit. For the jaws, I'm going to probably use, I've got a little tiny bit of birch ply left over, so I might use that, which I imagine is going to upset people, but past caring, I just want this job done now. So yeah, that's got to happen. Over here, you'll see that I've got all my forge fast screws still in the boxes. If you missed that video, the forge fast are now, or forge fix rather, are now supporters of the channel, which is brilliant. But I will be making a screw holder kind of drawer set that's pretty small, that's going to run along here. So I'm going to be able to put these in those rather than these big old plastic things that I have at the minute that really get in the way. So that's what I'm going to do with that. Now then, we've also got this bad boy, which was, I made this as a bit of fun for myself to find out if I could do it. I used a picture of my dog Pepper when I put this together. You may have seen it on Instagram or whatever. And I'm not really an artistic kind of person. really. So it was pretty difficult to kind of figure it out, but I kind of made the best of a bad job. If you want to see how I did this from start to finish, so literally getting a photo of your pet and then trying to figure out how to put things together, then please do let me know. To be honest with you, the majority of this is just all glued together because it's just going to hang on a wall and not be a problem. But yeah, if you want to know how to do that, then let me know, because even though you don't have to be super arty to get a picture of your pet and then get the sort of the basics kind of around it, you know? Another 5-minute job that I got up to recently was installing this, because I had to cut down the hose that was on my table saw because it was too long. And I used this short section to come out from my chip collector, and at the bottom, underneath this bit of wood here, there is a 100mm right angle, but instead of going 100mm round to 100mm round, it's 100mm, and it goes to like an oblong rather than anything else. So it's kind of got this oblong tube that goes on it for guttering or something. The piece was about £3 from Screwfix, and so what I've done is I've attached this hose to one of those. I've then built a mouth, just super basic mouth around the outside of it. There's no bottom to it, it's just literally the top and the sides. And then I put a little bit of super glue on it and stuck it to the floor. But what it means now is when I turn on this chip collector, I can then just sweep up stuff, and it gets sucked up really, really well. I'll show you an example of that. So that's going to help me massively, and I look forward to using this a lot more, because I can't bend down and pick stuff up off the floor. It's going to take me an army to get back up from this position. But one of the things that I do have is this. Now, this is one of those magnet tool holders you get from all sorts of places, super cheap, and it's one of the magnets that you stick on the wall. So I stuck that on a bit of wood. It needs to be on a longer bit of wood, to be fair. But what I can do is I can sweep up my pile of stuff. I then just stick this magnet over the top of it to make sure there's no metal or screws or anything like that in there that's going to upset my chip collector. And then I can just brush this towards the mouth, and away you go. But yeah, it's all to stop me bending down as much. Speaking of which, I really ought to get up. Okay, now this is possibly my most ambitious project yet, and it's not because it's going to do something nice, but because it's going to do something that it shouldn't be intended to do. I don't know if I'm going to put a video out about this, because it's pretty specialist stuff, I guess, really, and you're not likely to get things. I may do a video at the end of it all where I talk you through stuff. I'll take photos and then I talk you through what I did, but I don't know if it's going to work, and I know for a fact there'll be a hell of a lot of people saying me that this will not work. But let me show you what this horrible bit of 70s furniture will do. This is an old sewing machine cabinet, and the pedal here still works. So that will still do what I need it to do to turn this wheel around here. Hopefully you can see that as that's going, which I'm hoping, because this looks like it's probably a 13 to 14 inch wheel. If I pop a headstock from, I've got 2 headstock and tailstocks from old Vises, and I'm thinking if I can use one of those up here, it'll be on the wrong side. Normally the headstock's on the left, but depending on how I make this turn round, obviously that's, you know, not going to make a difference. But what it means is I may be able to have a small usable lathe that's foot powered, that I can sit down to do. That's, you know, I'm only going to be doing short pieces, just handles for tools and all that sort of stuff. But it'll be foot powered, it'll keep giving me exercise, and it'll be something that should be maybe fairly straightforward to do. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it's going to give me some options, I think. And the idea of being able to sit down and lathe up tool handles or pens or something like that, I think is really cool. I was looking at some gearing the other day with regards to if this is kind of a 12-inch wheel or 13 or 14-inch wheel, you know, what am I going to need to go to get sort of, I don't know, 800 RPM, 800 to 1000 RPM. And I don't think it's going to be too bad. But, like I said, it's an ambitious project, but I picked this up for like was it tenner? So, you know, it's got to be worth a go, isn't it? And there's holes and I don't know. It seems like it'll work, but it's been on my mind for absolutely months and months and months. I wanted to try this. So, yeah, feel free to let me know I'm an idiot in the comments. So that about explains where I'm up to. I would love to be out here doing stuff today, but to be honest with you, I'm just not up to it. I've talked about the fibro stuff in the past, and I will be doing a video on woodworking with fibromyalgia and chronic pain and all that sort of stuff at some point in time, because I really do believe that it's important to stress how great woodworking can be for both the physical and mental aspects of your life. So yeah, I will be doing that in the future. I just don't want to annoy loads of people, do you know what I mean? But yeah, we'll get to that. But no, that's where I'm up to. This place needs a tidy. It's going to happen tomorrow now. I'm just going to go back inside, edit this video and get it out for hopefully 6 p.m. this evening. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you've seen anything in this video that you feel needs expanding on or you'd like to know more about, then please do tell me and I will go about getting that sorted out for you. I will leave a link to this Vise down below. I don't think there's anything else worth leaving links to, other than, of course, the Forge Fix and Forge Fast people for supporting the channel. Please do buy from them. I love their products and I think they do a grand job. Putting this Vise in would have been a lot harder without those screws. That's it for now. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.